Hello, people. I am in such a good mood because the verdict was just announced for George Floyd's murder. And yeah, so I just feel like I'm kind of like glowing and super happy because of how that went down. However, I can't imagine how it must be to how it must feel to be a person of color right now. And in addition, even though this is amazing, like it's not like everything's okay now, there are still a lot of things that we need to do. And this is just kind of like one small victory, and we need to keep going. So, anyway, with that being said, I am going to spend the whole night doing what I love, which is reading. So, unrelated to that, actually, I was given The Desire Factor by Christy Whitman, by a publisher. And I just think this is the cutest cover. Gorgeous, right? I love the colors. It says like supportive relationships, passionate careers, all these cute little like sayings in the swirls. So definitely was super excited to read this. I'm just gonna kind of talk about it as I read it. And I have to admit, at first, I was kind of turned off by the introduction, in which the author, and I know she probably didn't mean for it to come across this way, and probably she would be like, that's not what I meant. But she's basically talking about how she went shopping and she saw this beautiful Coach purse. She loved it so freaking much. It was out of her price range, I think, and whatever. So she like basically made the money and then came back later for it. But she envisioned a certain type of person having that purse, and so she kind of became that type of person. It encouraged her. And then she did it again, basically, with a very, very expensive purse. And like, I'm not here to judge what she wants to spend her money on, that's up to her. But I was just kind of turned off, I guess, by just the idea that a purse can make you into a type of person. I feel like that would be like reading certain books and thinking that they would make you look some kind of way. I just felt that was kind of immature. However, I am starting to read, there's 7 chapters, and I have started to read The Principle of Alignment, and that is going a bit better. So I think maybe I'm just not connecting to the author, but perhaps the rest of the book will be better. So I'm just gonna sit here, read some more, and I'll check in again soon. All right, so I finished chapter 1 of this book, and I should say, I haven't really told you what it's about. It says how to embrace your materialistic nature to reclaim your full spiritual power. So I didn't necessarily think it was going to be about minimalism, but I did think that it might be about stepping away from kind of this materialistic consumerism sort of mindset. And so in chapter 1, the author actually says a lot of stuff that I super agree with, but I feel like her approach is from a different angle than mine. So in this chapter, she is kind of talking about syncing up with your source, which I've used the word source for a long time before I knew that a bunch of woo-woo people used it to talk about God, the creator, whoever you want to consider, or whatever you want to consider, the creative force in the world. So I definitely agree about how important it is to take time just to, sync up every day. So I honestly try my best to do it every day, but sometimes it's just kind of an internal conversation, and other times it is me like taking time in the morning to make sure that I am synced up to what I would view as God, and to my faith, and just like why I'm doing what I'm doing. And in this book, I would say that she agrees with that. or, whatever, like that's what it looks like for me, but it doesn't necessarily have to look that way for another person. So we both agree with this syncing up with kind of the really cool things that happen when you're like in alignment with, your source, and things just kind of happen to you. Like, for example, the other day I was thinking of like my long-term dream job, and then today I actually got called for an interview, which is like potentially a path along the way to get to my like dream job ever. And obviously it's an interview. I may or may not get the job, but I just thought it was cool that that opportunity to interview was placed in my path. And so that's kind of what she's discussing, is this, synchronicity or, alignment. But basically, this is kind of like the law of attraction. And so for me, the reason that I kind of do the things that I was discussing is because like I just want to make a difference. I want to be connected to others, and like it's not centered towards me. It's more centered on taking that time with myself so that I can make more of an impact outwards. And with this, it seems like it could be more outwardly directed, but it seems like you are doing that so that you can get and manifest whatever you want. And I just don't know that I like that idea. And I don't necessarily think that like that's her intention. That's just the way I'm taking it, is like, I need to do this so that I can get this. And that is not really the way that I would approach it. So I think that we're kind of coming from different angles, although it like technically kind of seems like we agree. I don't know. It's just like maybe we view things through a different lens. All right, chapter 2, and I totally agree with her in this chapter, where she is kind of talking about how like you need to be this creator, and that you don't want to focus on like what could go wrong or what has gone wrong in the past with a certain situation. You just really want to focus on like what you want and getting prepared for that, and kind of like creating what you want as opposed to what you don't want. And one thing that came to mind when I thought about this is the changes I've made in my life that are most successful is when I'm like focused on like more positive reinforcement that's kind of natural and fits with what I'm doing, as opposed to like focusing on what I'm not going to do and like getting down on myself for whatever action I wasn't supposed to do. And I think that's a little bit in line with what she was talking about, although that wasn't quite her direction. But yeah, it's getting a bit better. Done. Okay, so this book got better, and I was like, yeah, like we're on the same page. And then it got worse. So basically, I think her and I like agree with a lot of the same things, but we're kind of coming at it from different angles. And I felt like a lot of her examples were just very shallow, and I don't know, that sounds so judgmental, but I just like I don't want to manifest money or a purse, or I don't know, I just want to be deeply connected with those around me. I want to make a difference in my community, small or large. And I don't know that these messages communicated by the author were my jam. And I think that had they been communicated by someone else in a bit deeper, more spiritual, more interconnected sort of way, I might have appreciated the book a bit more. So yeah, I didn't love it, but I am super grateful that I was given this book and that I was able to read it, and I am going to be passing it along to someone else. So hopefully they can read it, enjoy it, and hopefully it will like deeply connect with what they are looking for, what they want, what they need in their life. So yeah, thank you so much for allowing me to read this. I'm curious if any of you seem like this is like your jam and you would be interested in it. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys later.